Well, howdy, welcome back to my channel. Or well, not really welcome back, this is more continuation to the last video because I didn't completely finish it. Anywho, I've been slugging around inside of Arduino here. First of all, I got the dark mode theme installed. So, now one thing I want to check. Default theme. Supposedly I could do. Anywho, I'll show in a later video how to install that. Anywho, I have now changed around a little bit in how things are doing. So we got our floating point numbers, which is used in the temperature sensor calibration. R1, log, R2, R2, T, TC, and TF, which is all floating numbers. Which is used down here, the C logs being multiplied, and then temperature variable equals, and what they're equal and stuff is done down here. Then we got our variables for our different analog pins, as well as variable for the temperature sensor, which is temp sems, analog 0 and analog 1. Then we got variables for our different digital pin, floor switch pin 11, 12 and 13, string time date, which is fine. Then we got the actual pin modes, so contactor pin 1 and 2, which is 5 volt output, floor switch pin, which is expecting 5 volts, serial begin. Then we got the void loop for analog read from the potentiometer pin. Which makes sense because it is a temp set point underscore pin. Here in the hallway, but here it is. I'm gonna turn the floor heat override off for the time being. Jesus. Let's turn it down a little more. There we go. That's working properly. The floor heat override is working properly, which is good. So yes, it all seems to be working. just record real quick from within the program itself. Just show you guys a little bit of the changes I did do compared to the original file. I should be able to if I hope they do one and then select this one and then I open inside of that one. I believe that one is in here, I believe. Yes. So let's see if I can split these up in two per se. Oh, roughly. So we can start at the top here. You'll see we're really different just at the start here. I don't remember floor switch pin input. This was yes, this one is correct because this one has the higher priority, I believe. Yes, okay, never mind. There's just changed so much. So first change is up here. Everything up here has been separated much more. Our define has been turned into our Ink heating software, which is what basically this firmware is. Well, heating firmware. Whereas what this really is, but sure. Which means I'll change the name of this later, but and this is version 1.3.0. This one says 3.8. 4.0 was what it said, but so basically start time and day I moved up here, and I've also added the option to have a zone here. So this is where the zone is. This const float all the way up to R1 has been moved into this bracket. VO has been moved. Yes, has been moved here and renamed temp sense, and thermistor pin and potentiometer pin has been moved here and is now called temp set point pin and temp sense pin on analog 0 and analog 1. Then all the relay pins and floor switch pin has been moved down here, and floor switch pin is still called floor switch pin, but it's at the top. And the relay 1 and 2 pin has been changed to contactor 1 pin and contactor 2 pin. Then space void setup, and then all the pin modes and serial begins has been moved over here. So contactor 1 and 2 to output mode because we're giving them 5 volts. And then floor switch pin input because it's expecting to get 5 volts to then trigger another action. Then our void loop start, which is pretty much the same besides from our analog read has been changed. So void loop init data, and instead of potentiometer pin we have temp set point pin. And then here is where things have changed a little bit. So you remember how up we had a variable up here. Before it was typed here. That is now a variable called var for version. And then control zone. This has been changed to control zone instead of temp reading. And instead of parentheses and having to write the zone there, it's a variable called zone, so you can change that at the top of the document and the version from the top of the document instead of doing it here. And then you have time, date, and a new line. Pot value, set temperature, because I changed this variable from percentage to set temperature. And then C. Then we have the float switch pin here, which equals high, and here is where that relay pin 1 was changed to contactor pin 1. That's pretty much the only thing changed here. And I've added status on the start here, as it's in these as well to this one. Then we got this one, which just is changed to, instead of percentage, to set temperature on both of these. And the contactors has been changed from relay 1 and relay 2 pin to contactor 1 and contactor 2 pin. And that's pretty much it. Other than that, down here, only thing that's changed here is that this is called now temp sense, and that variable temp sense now equals the analog read from temp sense pin. Then we have R2 equals R1 times 1003 divided by float temp sense, which is 10,000 multiplied by 1023 divided by the temp sense output minus 1, and then log something, and then temperature, and then R2 apparently, so temperature equals 1 divided by C1 plus C2 times log R2 plus C3 times log R2 times log R2 times log R2. And then here is the actual temperature. So this is where we subtract or add to calibrate the temp sensor, and this is just recalculates the Fahrenheit, the Celsius temperature to Fahrenheit, which is pretty much the same besides from the change in variables, and that I've added on what they do. And other than that, serial print temperature is still the same as always. So that's pretty much all the changes that has been done from quote-unquote this, which is now version regulating 1.2.5 save to you, which is now Control Shift S Arduino Heating firmware version 1. Or Control Shift S. Oops, I fucked it up. So I'll just put this on the desktop, suppose. Supposedly I put the other one, yes, because here are those. And then we got the Necolive_ink dash heat underscore heating dash firmware, and then 1.2.5. So then you can go there, then you can be closed, then you can be extended. And then we can reopen you. That's a little annoying, but okay. It's quite annoying, but suppose that's what we're living with. So yeah, so that's about it. So I'm gonna just say thanks for watching again and stay tuned and stay awesome.